I was adopted.
Really?
Yeah,
We
I
missed
was
that
adopted.
part.
Yep, I was adopted, and for my entire life, like I never really.
Did you know from the beginning?
I was always told. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And she kind of tricked me, and I took I took the ancestry test, and then this story is so crazy long, but I really met my dad for the first time at 40 years old. So we're talking on the phone, and I said to my wife, I don't even know what I'm going to say to this guy. Like, this is crazy. And she's like, I've never heard you say I don't know what I'm going to say. Right. We're talking on the phone. I get on the phone, and he tells me the story. Right. Like him and my mom were high school sweethearts. My mom was white. My dad was Puerto Rican and Mexican. And her mom didn't really like the idea. So come to find out, my whole life was dictated by racism. At the end of the day, right? So they went their separate ways, found out my mom's pregnant.
Yeah.
He heard through the grapevine, because this is 1970.
So he didn't know?
He found out from a friend. And so he said, what are we doing with Maiden? She said, my family had already made a decision. We're going to give him up adoption. He's like, no, I won't. So he went to court to fight for me. And at the time, they told him and his father that it wasn't ideal for me to grow up in a two-father household.
What's up, everybody? It's Brooke Jones, aka the Millennial Agent.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tyra Nicole.
Hey everybody, I am Nicole Pay,
and you are watching the RPR podcast.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real People and Real Estate podcast, where we talk about the real shit, not about real estate. I'm one of your hosts, Brooke Jones, aka the Millennial Agent.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Tyra Nicole.
Hey, everybody. I am Nicole Pay, and today we have realtor and actually we have a podcast host on our podcast, Brad Patrick. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's an absolute pleasure.
So you are a podcast host. So go ahead and plug your outlets. Where are you at?
Well, podcast host seems kind of a stretch. It's just more of a hobby, and you can find me on Spotify. The podcast is called It's Monday, Y'all. And I kind of just started it like during Lions football season, right? Because I wanted to I'd get up Monday and I want to talk about the Lions. And I think my wife kind of gets tired of hearing me talk about the Lions. So then I decided to just talk to myself. And then it kind of grew for the last 3 or 4 years. And now I have a really good friend of mine, called Jersey Fred, who actually lived here in Detroit, Lake Orion, Metro Detroit area. And now he's back in Jersey. But I gotta say, he's a big Detroit hater. So it's really good to have on the pod because he doesn't agree with everything I say. Like we were talking on the way up here, and she's rocking her Tiger stuff. Yeah. Well, we played the Yankees, and he's a big Yankees guy. So I said, let's bet. He wears a Yankees hat every day. And I said, you got to come on my pod next Monday if we beat you in the series. And so
how'd that work out?
Monday, friends wearing the Old English.
I was gonna say how that worked out for him. Just didn't work out. The Tigers have been jamming. They didn't do well in preseason, but they have been rocking in regular season.
I have never witnessed a Tigers team that hit the ball as well as they have this early in the season. So super exciting. Yeah. Right. I'm just excited.
No, we need to have you on during Lions season because we are diehard Lions fans. We sat in the stands when we were 0-16. We're sitting in the stands now, and I come in here and talk about Lions, and everyone looks at me like.
I was a season ticket holder for 15 years. Mm-hmm. When COVID hit, I took the break, and then we were going to go back. And I'm like, I guess it's beautiful TV. I'm just going to be cool. So I want everybody to thank me.
Oh, yes, because
now that I'm not going, that's why we're good.
I was the bad luck.
I was the bad luck.
Really?
Yeah. I was at every game.
It's funny, how Facebook brings back your memories. I have posts that have come up and said, "Dear God, please let the Lions be good this year because I want Sundays to be fun in my house again." And I laugh about it because now they come up. And I show him, and I'm like, do you remember the time, he would bring his Lions chair in the house and sit in our living room. And you guys, we have a very open concept house.
For sure.
And he would sit in the middle of the living room in this Lions chair and watch them lose.
Well, you'll love this. So
the whole game. The whole game. Every week. Yeah.
There was a game, it was back in, I don't even want to remember the year, but I had got these seats. I was second row, 50-yard line, and we played against Baltimore. And we were neck and neck in the game, and Stafford turns around, throws an interception. We lose the game. And I basically like stood up and put my hands on my head, like in just pure disgust, right? I get out of the stadium and my phone is going crazy.
You're on the advertising.
I was on ESPN. I was on everybody got on Facebook. So there's a picture of me. So every time the Lions did something stupid, that picture would show up.
I need to find that photo and place it right here.
I got it. See, I have it.
You have a frame.
Yeah, but that picture pretty much described my thought of that situation and my thought of that team at the time. And we don't see that picture anymore.
No. When was this? When did this happen?
Oh gosh, don't quote me on it. It had to have been 10. Well, let's see, my son is 10, so it probably 9, 10 years ago.
Okay.
He was a baby at the time. Yeah.
And that was like us. Like we have 6 tickets, and we would go. And in the beginning, it was great because we would take the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and we would start going with kids. And then when they started winning, the whole dynamic of the crowd changed. And after a while, like now our kids are like, "When can we go?" And I'm like,
It's wild out there.
it's a whole different, and it's like such a vibe being in a stadium, and I love it, and it's great. But when you have younger children,
It's different.
it's so different taking them, and it's hard because we took them when you were always
Right.
16, and it was different because they could run up and down.
It's like feeding them cookies for
But-
breakfast and tell them that's it. We don't do that.
we don't do that.
We don't eat cookies for breakfast. Exactly.
The stadium would be so empty that they'd be running up and down like the whole rows because there was nobody in the rows,
Yeah.
and that's what they'd be doing, having fun. And now I'm like, nope, not really sure that's gonna happen anymore.
You just gotta take them to a Pistons game.
And that, I mean, even those though, like we've been to a couple, and they're starting to get a little.
Really?
They're not.
It's like that. They always have made Pistons like entertaining. Like
It is
even when
very
they're
entertaining.
losing, like they'll have something like during halftime
Right.
or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
where it's still like a fun like vibe.
yeah.
Yeah, they bring on like MC Hammer or something.
Yeah.
They already did that for a hot minute, but it real bad.
Or maybe, like when they were at the Palace.
Yeah.
Like we were going like just to see the concert.
So we just went just for Vanilla Ice.
I went for Bobby Brown.
That's funny.
That's so funny. All right, so let's actually we talk about hot topics.
Okay.
What's going on? And the only thing I don't know what to do on anything because you're usually big on the hot topics.
I'll let you go.
Okay, so can we talk about all these house explosions in a house?
Oh, there were 2.
Girl, there's been time out. There's been way more. So Detroit was one. There was one in Farmington Hills that wasn't as publicized.
I didn't hear about that.
There was one in Southgate. And in fact, Kate's best friend, our friend Kate, her best friend, her apartment caught fire the day after opening day at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Caught fire, completely burned down. And then I just saw another one, I think in Dearborn,
Really?
happen again. And the ironic part about it, and this is me being, I've said next to you way too long. They're all between 4 and 6 a.m. Every single one of the explosions and fires that have been between.
Are they all gas leaks, or is that what the?
So the one in Ann Arbor with our girlfriend Ashley, which I do have a GoFundMe page for, like her smoke alarms didn't even go off. Like we were at opening day. We talked to her that night. Kate FaceTimed her. We talked to her that night. And 4 a.m., someone was pounding on her door. Her smoke alarms never went off.
You didn't go off?
I have no clue. And she was able, luckily her children were not at home. She was able to get her and her dog out. But so their complex is like, they're apartments, but they're like the condos that have like their own entrance.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like 4 in a section. The entire thing burned down.
And what are they saying was the cause?
They haven't, it's too soon. They haven't investigated yet. But it's crazy to me because every single one of these been between 4 and 6 a.m.
The one, I got an emergency alert.
One for Detroit.
That one scared the crap out of me. But you know what I heard is they accidentally sent it out further than Detroit, right? So it was only supposed to go to Detroit residents or people around the area.
Scared the shit out
I
of
don't
me.
believe that. I don't believe any of that. Like, I was just talking about this, how I feel like the media and the news, like, puts out, like, certain things for some type of reason.
Well, it has to.
Scare tactic.
It's a scare tactic. Because the Southgate one, everybody was talking about. I don't know if anyone even knew about the one in Ann Arbor.
Oh, I did.
Like,
And then why did we get an alert for that, though?
that was the one and then there was one in Farmington Hills in between the Detroit and Southgate one. Another house explosion in Farmington Hills. So like It's like,
Yeah.
you're right. They only put out specific ones.
Yeah.
But Ann Arbor, like this was, I have video of it. This fire was massive, like literally massive. And
I couldn't even imagine, you said you had 4 kids.
yeah.
I have children myself, like going through that. Now, before my wife and I married, she had a fire at our current home that we're in right now, and she's told me about it. And I know this is kind of weird, but she's like, what you go through with their insurance and the fire rescue teams coming over there, she's like, everybody needs to go through it once to understand the magnification. Like she had things that they charge her for dry cleaning and like clothes she's never even worn in years. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You just keep having all
Yeah.
like she could have saved money doing it this way or price shop the recovery people because those people show up right behind the fire trucks.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, these are like disaster relief companies because they want your job. They know
That's like an accident. When an accident happened, I saw like an accident happen, and all of a sudden this guy just came out of nowhere saying like, well, all you have to do this, and that.
Yep.
And it was after a car accident. Like, where did you come
And
from?
how much is
That's what they call them, ambulance.
I've never even heard of that.
Yes. So like these disaster relief places are basically something. I've heard rumors. Don't quote me on it.
Allegedly.
And
We say allegedly.
alleged.
Allegedly.
That they have the N on these police scanners or these fire scanners, and they're like, "Oh, there's a fire at 1-2-3-4 Main Street." Dude gets his car, he's like, and
I don't
consult the person,
companies, period.
right?
And then hand your business card as your consultant.
Yeah.
Like, here, and by the way,
Like insurance is a whole scam anyway. So
and we live in how much money
it's such a big business.
It is a business.
it is. That's
You never
crazy.
know. But the crazy thing is the smoke alarms thing.
Yeah,
Like,
smoke alarms never.
How
went
is
off.
that possible?
I'm not sure. Especially in a lot of I know when what apartment did was it the one that we had in Canton was all they were all connected. Remember that we didn't have to change batteries, so they were all.
Yeah, we did.
Was it? I think it was our
it was
apartment when we first met, and they were all connected. So they were all.
Oh, they're hardwired.
Yeah, they were our say that
Hardwired.
Sorry, I couldn't say that on the same line. So we never had to like go and change. And I know a lot of apartment complexes do that nowadays.
Yeah.
But did she lose? Did it completely burn?
Gone. No.
So how did the smoke alarm not go off if it completely?
The only reason she woke up is because her neighbor was banging on her door, telling to get her house.
That's like a lawsuit right there.
Yeah, she grabbed one of the stuff. And her dog. Her dog was there. She has 3 children as well. Thank God they weren't there. But that's the only reason she woke up is because the banging on her door.
But
And
no one died or anything.
Nope, everybody got out safe. Thank God. But even that though, like I think about and I talked to him about it. How many I know stuff is replaceable. I get that, like couches, whatever. But like, how do you replace the stuff from your kids or your family memories? Or there's so much that I couldn't even. And her attitude has been great. Like I talked to Katie, and she talked to her the day before, and she's like laughing about it. Like she's like, well,
Yeah,
when it is.
when you still have your life, like some things like
And maybe that's what it is, like that traumatic experience of not going through it. But I can't even imagine like losing everything that I've saved from our kids.
The nice thing about like today's technology, right? You have Facebook, you have our phones or anything.
I love
our grandparents, our great grandparents, who was everything on photos or photo albums. Like that was more devastating.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah.
as long as I got my phone straight.
That is
My phone, it's fine. But you think about it, our grandparents, who everything was in like a photo album.
or
I saved this, and I think that I don't know everyone's ages in the room, but I'll go ahead and say mine. I'm 45 years old, and like I just don't think we have that sentimental value that our parents and our grandparents like. Oh, you're gonna leave me that? And I'm thinking to myself like, all right, I want it.
You know what I'm talking about? That's so funny. We've talked about this because
It's just
my
a
mom
different generation. It is
like she has like my aunt's china, my grandma's china, and I'm like, it's sitting in pins in the base. We don't even break. Guess what? Thanksgiving, you get a paper plate. It's actually a thick.
Because I don't want to wash it.
Because I ain't washing your shit after. And it's a thick one. We'll spend more money on the paper plates at Thanksgiving so they don't bend and break or whatever. But even at our house now, like the kids, I'm like, there's a plastic cup.
Yeah.
Here's a plastic cup. Throw it away because we don't have that sentiment. You're right. We don't have this.
It's
But
just-
I'm different though because
you want her?
And I'm trying to get out of it. I'm finally admitting to myself I'm kind of like a pack rat.
A pecker.
I would never.
I guess that's what you call it.
A
Hoarder.
hoarder?
Yeah, people call me that. Really? I don't like to call myself.
I would never have envisioned
Well, I
that
would
of you.
decide that.
Yeah, and it's like I remember like when my dad died, it was like I wanted to keep everything of him.
Yeah.
But my mom was the complete opposite. She wanted to get rid of it because she didn't want the memory of it. And I wanted to like keep everything. And it made me realize like I have a problem. Like I don't like to get rid of things. But I'm working on it.
My mom has my grandfather's desk. Like I'm pretty sure you don't know unless your parents have it. And I'm not even sure you know. Do you remember the desk that used to like fold down?
Yeah, like the rollaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it roll?
Like a hutch.
But it's like a big wood piece. It didn't roll away. It's like a big wood piece, and then it folds up, and then when you fold it down, it has like compartments and
Yes,
straight
sure.
wood. Like
My dad has.
yeah, and my mom has it. I'm like, and I open it, and it's just a bunch of shit thrown in there, and I'm like,
You talk about the cover that like comes down if you have like a laptop in there, it will come down.
it's kind of like that, but it's like a big wood piece. Like but the desk it looks like an armoire or something when it's folded up. But when you fold it down, it's like a full desk.
Oh,
And I'm like, Mom, what's
It's an antique piece.
right.
Yeah, but it's so. I don't get it.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right. Just having this conversation.
I got like China cabinets.
China cabinets?
Like they're big, they're bulky.
I have a shop cabinet, but
I've been selling real estate for 21 years. Like somebody comes in and they say like, "Oh, that's a good piece for my China cabinet."
Like cabinets are awesome. Like you want the wine glasses and.
Do you
Like-
bust it? I would do.
But I don't have one. I don't own one, but I would love to.
so listen,
I would love
I'm gonna tell you that you guys have both been to my house. I have a coffee bar wall, and it's funny because I have one of those that you can hang the glasses on.
Yeah.
The only glasses from the margarita to the wine into the martini, the only glasses that don't have 7 inches layer of dust are the wine glasses. In the middle, because that's me. I'm the wino, and we use the wine. But like the margarita glasses, I'm like, oh, that's like like we never use them.
It seemed like a good idea.
At the time, it was great.
And like,
It's really for decoration.
Yeah, like I'm like it's an aesthetic, but
It's nice to
it's
look at.
great. But literally, if someone were to come over and be like, "Can I have a margarita and a margarita glass?" I'm like, "No, you can have it in a plastic cup."
well, the thing is people come to your house, you guys entertain, but people like me, nobody comes over. So nobody's going to see anything in my
But it's the same thing with me. Like no one comes over. I like to just look at it myself.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
I mean, I look at it, but then I'm like, when I'm dusting, or when Melanie's cleaning her house, when the lady that we have come to, like, I'm like, oh, don't just ignore them. I'll throw them in the dishwasher.
You gotta get Melanie on the market.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Put them in the dishwasher.
She's there for. I mean, like,
I know, but I feel bad because when I tell you, there's like you can like have you ever like touched dust and there's like
well, then what if she's there for you?
yes, there's like
Like
a
I got
layer
your
of dust.
fan. Yep. Mhm.
Yes, there's like a layer of dust that there's like so, but the wine glasses are crystal clear. Like you can see through them. They're
just
gorgeous.
run to the dishwasher.
I just need to go to the dishwasher. So okay, that's my hot topics. What is yours? Because I think so interested now.
There are so many hot topics right now that we could go on, but we gotta get into.
We got to get in the podcast.
Okay, the number one thing is tariffs right now. That is like the number one thing in news.
That word.
But
That may be
Skip over that.
its own.
That means it's own because he just actually recalled them for what did he
90
like,
days.
suspend them for 90 days? Except for China is now at 125%. He put
I don't care.
he thinks China's playing with them.
Whatever's gonna happen.
There goes Temu and Shein and whatever.
there goes all the
Anything that
All
you
of the
would like to get at $4.25 for a brand new top is no longer happening from China. So you ordered Tower is that big? What was it? Can I at least know?
her Bob, the new Bob.
Isn't it sassy?
Yes, I love it.
You feel about
I know. I loved it. It's like a new thing for you, and I love it.
It's my Dora era.
Your door earrings.
Except for without the bangs.
Okay.
I was putting that everywhere like Dora, and then I realized like Dora has bangs.
Yeah,
But I was considering bangs.
don't do it. Don't do
I'll
it.
do it. I've never been a fan of
I'm
bangs.
never a fashion guy by any stretch of the imagination. I can't believe I'm actually in this conversation.
You are.
But I will tell you this from a male perspective: don't go.
Don't
See,
do bangs.
what would you do if your wife you gave me like?
She would
Excuse
never.
me. Listen. Okay, I I have a bang story. This is why you don't do bangs. Let me tell you my bang story. Okay, so William and I were going to a wedding in Florida. We go to Florida every year Christmas. We were going to a wedding in Florida, and I was how many months? Like 6 months pregnant, I think, with Avery.
When I proposed
When
to
you
you,
proposed,
yes,
yeah.
it's 6 months.
So I was 6 months pregnant with Avery, and I had this like Grecian dress. It was like I listen. I felt like the fucking in this dress. I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. I got this flowing dress, but guess what? My hairstyle doesn't match. And I actually went, and I already had a bob, and I made her cut bangs.
It was a hard cut.
across,
Go like a
Hard
child.
like a hard
Did you
cut.
hold the proposal back?
And no,
You got the.
and then he
Yeah,
goes and
so I-
proposes, and I'm like, why didn't you
She
like
did because
stop
she didn't know I was
me?
going to propose.
I didn't. You never said, babe, the bangs are not a good idea.
Cut it yourself.
No, I went like I bet like because I had a vision of what I wanted to look like
Oh.
in this bomb ass dress.
There
and
is a
6 months should have
Picture insert right here
like
of
picture
the
insert, yeah,
bangs.
of my bangs, and I'm like, you didn't even stop me. Like you didn't say, let's not do the bangs, babe. Like didn't even
I
stop
think
me.
bangs are good, like for one event, like not.
Well,
just
get
that.
that bang clip in.
Like,
Well, that's what I did. I got bangs for one event.
Yeah, for
and
the look.
Then he goes and freaking proposes with my one event bangs.
What was wrong with the bangs?
Nothing, but I don't. When have you ever seen me in
It
bangs?
doesn't match with the
just
pregnant
didn't
belly
go
and
with
the
it.
outfit. And
No, it did. Listen, I looked amazing.
No, you did.
in
Why
my
are you so upset?
It's because I've never worn bangs.
So,
I'm not a bang
like
girl.
engagement pictures with bangs. Is that what I got?
Like
That
I'm
makes-
like, hey, here's the ring in my
and then you see a hard shot.
hard cut bangs.
How did as for the memories? The bangs look fine.
I mean, I thought it looked good.
Yeah,
Like I was 6 months pregnant, so as much.
It's cool to me to wear bangs like for an occasion.
Stop me.
You just can't.
Tyra, just get keep on
wearing.
bangs.
It's the, well, now I know about slip-on bangs. I didn't know then because I just went.
That's actually a
been a
thing.
bang girl.
It is. You can buy like
You-
clip
I
on
was get a wig probably. at
Or
some
that.
point.
Or that.
Or
I said I was going to get a blonde wig.
cool.
Okay.
Like,
Are we doing this?
Like,
Do like the ash blonde.
no, like for my birthday or something like this.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to get blonde.
Listen,
I'm just going to go and be somebody else. Like, I'm doing this. That's what I'm going to do.
One of my favorite stories. I sold this girl a house in Putney,
Okay.
and she was the nicest client. And when she came to the closing, I didn't even recognize her. She was dressed to the nines. She even rented a car. But she had an older car.
Yeah.
She rented a car for her closing. Like,
Did you ever red carpet? What?
I wish I would have. I didn't know
At
she
this
was
point,
coming out
you
like that.
Yeah.
I was. This is the most fun I've ever had.
That's what I love
Because
about
I
us.
was so
She was
excited.
so into it. And was she the buyer or seller?
She was the buyer. And we looked for like a year and a half.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, and she deserves
She
it.
had sex on that.
But I mean, I honestly had to go
You were
back.
like, holy shit.
You're the one that I've been driving around with. Okay, cool. Come on, sit by.
Wear a wig.
Wow.
But oh yeah, all night.
She had a wig
Whole
on and
different,
everything.
whole different hairstyle.
Were you like really questioning, like, is that you?
100%. Look fabulous. Look fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she,
Yeah.
she very good looking girl, but it just threw me off. It wasn't what we were dealing with. But you know, I'm catching her. I'm catching her at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We're coming in hot because the house just hit the market. You know what I mean? She got time, but I just thought it was pretty cool. I've never seen anybody get so
Listen,
excited.
celebrate that win. That is a win to celebrate.
it.
All right, so we're going to dive into it. We're going to start with you are a father.
Yes,
How many kids?
I have 4.
Yeah. Okay. Fourth match number.
Yeah, my wife has 2. I have 2. Our blended family. And I got to get a shout out to my son who actually just started at Rocket. He passed his real estate exam on Friday, so he starts his, I believe they call it Rocket U.
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about her.
Yeah.
So he is,
What are their ages?
let's see here. We're
I
at
know.
22, 20, 19, and 10.
Okay.
Yes. With a blended family, my wife and I, we don't have kids together. And like when we first started dating, we had a schedule where we would have our kids on the same time, wouldn't have our kids. So it was like a perfect situation.
That's how
It's
it
like,
works,
right?
yeah.
You're like, okay, we can do our thing on this week.
We had week on, week off. Oh, you had week on, week off too?
Yeah. I was Wednesday, Thursday every other weekend.
Okay, so we were week on, week off. So it was like perfect.
Yeah. So we, like when we first started dating, like my only available days were like Monday and Tuesday. So but who hangs out on Monday?
They check out.
Right.
And ironically, my wife had the same kind of schedule, so I was like, oh, and I actually met her seller instinct.
No way. So
My
she's an
client-
agent as well.
She's actually my broker.
What?
Stop it.
In network.
Hey, boss babe, you better watch out.
Okay, so wait. Let's back it up.
Back up.
How did you get her as a client?
Oh no. She was the listing agent, and I was
Oh,
the buyer's agent.
Oh,
Okay.
My client bought
story.
her house.
So you were like, hey babe, you got my digits.
I wish
You
that
wish
I
it
was
was that
at-
slick.
Okay.
So what
Well,
happened?
what really happened is I remember her walking into the closing, and I was like, man, she's attractive, right?
Mhm.
So we kind of talked and whatever. Now she's going to tell a different story.
Okay.
I'm here, I'm there.
I know, yeah.
I get to tell my side. So at the time, I was working in the property management business, okay? But I had my real estate license, and the goal with the property management business is to meet as many agents as possible, and we would just come to you and say, hey, Terry, if you have any clients that could use my help, and got to go from there. Well, I was going to set something up, but it was like a year later. Like we kind of hit it off there and kind of went our own way. A year later, I call her because the sign, we couldn't find the sign. Somebody was coming to get the sign. It was covered in snow, blah, blah, blah. Well, a year later, my client's like, I have the sign. So I called her up at the time and I said, your sign's still at the house. And she's like, well, I work for a different company. But in the back of my mind, I was like, well, I'm going to hit her with this property management stuff. Like, why don't we meet for lunch? Well, I had a huge falling out with the person I was working with at the time, and just decided to go straight to real estate. This was a Monday. Okay. I was supposed to meet with her on Wednesday. Thought to myself, like, should I just keep this meeting? And I was like, yeah,
Hell yeah.
this meeting, and we'll just go. Kind of met on Wednesday in Royal Oak, and we just kind of hit it off.
Okay.
And then that next Saturday, we played golf together. We both really like to golf. And then kind of the rest was history.
Yeah.
She said she
Okay,
sued
I was
me.
gonna say, can I have her version? Because I'm sure you've heard it before.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
like-
I've heard it all the time.
So-
In fact,
so she's
normally
not
it's
here.
her over this conversation telling her what really happened. But basically,
So
said-
what is her version?
Oh, wait.
Wait, what?
Possibly we can get her to tell her story on the podcast. Like,
you
I
might,
mean, it's fine, but I'm curious in this
Oh, but you
moment,
was a broker.
yeah,
because also we have different versions of.
absolutely.
for sure.
So and my version. So I'm interested.
That's so funny.
What's her
Her
version?
version is that I didn't pay her any attention.
Oh,
Yeah, and she pursued me,
Okay.
and that she brought up the conversation at the closing to get me to talk, and she knows that I'm a Lions fan, or she had caught wind that I was a Lions fan. I make it very obvious.
Yeah.
And she kind of started getting me to talk by talking about the Lions. Ironically, I was actually heading to New Orleans that weekend to go to the Lions
Go
game,
Lions game.
which was my first time in New Orleans. And if you've never been there, it's one of my favorite places. And I'm not even a drinker. I'm an eater.
Okay.
And
Oh,
the
okay.
food here.
You're a foodie.
Seafood.
I'm telling you, it's the best.
Yeah.
So she pursued me, is what, and
So
I didn't
kind
pay
of believe
her.
her story. I
Ow!
was gonna
Why
say-
is this a girl thing?
I know, but I kind of feel like if that is her perception, I'm gonna go with it. Like I don't.
I will.
Listen. She had already investigated you enough to know that you were a Lions fan.
Okay.
To open that
Do you know her or something?
I don't. That I
Okay, this is the question.
I'm going with that.
Was it your first time actually meeting face to face at the closing? Or did you guys see each other prior to that?
No, you're right. It was the first time face to face.
She investigated.
Yeah, she did.
Women don't investigate.
And she said
for
I
any
was
reason.
rude. She said I was,
What did
and
you
she's
do?
the only person, honestly, only person who's ever said I'm.
What did you do?
So that means you weren't giving her attention.
I told her.
Did you really like her at first? Or did it take that year?
You probably didn't know what she looked like until the closing.
100%.
Yeah.
No,
That's the thing.
But at the
That's
same,
the thing with the guys. Like you guys like,
oh, wait.
like-
At the same time, it's all business. He was thinking about business.
no,
he was
he
thinking about you prior to you guys even
How did he
meeting
know
face.
her? Like
They were doing a deal together.
I know,
Right?
Yeah, but so I was doing the real estate on the side. So apparently, she had called. I didn't answer the phone, and I pushed her off on an assistant. And that
Ooh.
which I don't recall doing, but that's
what
That's what they're talking about. Yeah, man.
but that's how we met.
But
The rest is history. We'll be married 6 years. May 5th.
Yeah, everything works out.
Everything.
Yeah, listen, you're on the podcast and you're a guest, and I'm so.
But I don't feel it though. I feel like you're on her side. I came all the way down here at 8:00 at night on a Wednesday, and you're on her side.
She investigated. My man, like, she like was like, he's a Lions fan. I'm going.
She is one of the most brilliant people. I've
See?
ever met in my
So
life.
there was
100%.
there
do.
she
But I still have my side.
exactly.
we are all for your side, but after hearing hers,
She got what she wanted.
she got
There we go.
back. Yeah, she did. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Chesterfield on the
Okay.
east side. You know, I've lived there. Grew up there my whole life. Went to Realestate University. Was there for 5 long years.
What'd you guys
Enjoyed every second of it. What's that?
What'd you guys go for?
I was an advertising major with a minor in marketing,
Okay.
and then got a phone call, and it was I was a member of fraternity. It was the president of my fraternity, Pi Kappa Alpha, Go Pikes, and one of my alumni board members, was president at the time, was starting a mortgage company, and he asked me if I wanted to do mortgages, and I remember like being hungover and had flip flops on in the middle of the winter, and was like, "Ah, man, our job would be great." And all, see, I said, "I don't know anything about mortgage." He said, "I'll teach you everything you need to know." And started in Bloomfield on Square Lake and Woodward, and I actually moved and bought a house in St. Clair Shores. So I was commuting quite a bit, and that's kind of how the journey. Yes,
That's a really long.
I ended up moving to a mortgage company out on the east side after a while once I got my start. And then, 08, 09 kind of hit. Did some other things. I helped run a mortgage negotiation company where we helped save houses. Like
for lots of
loan applications.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Short sale.
Yeah. Helped with short sales, stuff like that. And then from there, we did some tax resolution and helped people settle and resolve IRS tax debt. I worked for an amazing. That was my owner. The owner of the mortgage company taught me a lot. I was very young at the time and learned a lot from him. And then the next boss, I solely transitioned and learned a lot from these people. And the guy I worked for with a mortgage negotiator owns a bunch of restaurants. So he had a very outside of the box thinking entrepreneurial way of doing things, which really inspired me. Then I ran a property management company for a while and kind of had a falling out there, but that's where I ended up getting my real estate license. And then that's when
Can I ask? Is that okay to ask you? I just know that's connected with mortgages and property management, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can do it after. But
That's an after hours discussion.
yeah. But then I met my wife, and she was like, "Look, I could save you a ton of money." And then we went and worked at Keller Williams for a hot minute. And then we went to another brokerage for a little bit. And then she came to me and said, "I really want to start our own thing." And I was like, "Okay." I wasn't excited about it. You got if you who is realtor, I don't like jumping.
I don't need that. Yeah, I get that.
I don't it's just like jumping a new job, but we're doing the same thing. And, finally she opened with a business partner. So Jen Tate and my wife, Sarah, and they opened Open Stone Real Estate. So we've been there about 3 years in downtown Rochester. And I think we have 42-ish agents.
Amazing. That's actually a great number.
So I just work out a real estate business and my wife runs the company. So I'm with
So how
my
about like working for your boss?
How is it like working for my wife?
Your wife.
I sure.
Yeah, how do you balance that?
I can wholeheartedly say that I enjoy every second.
Okay.
I mean, we literally sit this far away all day.
Can you not answer the question? I like being told what to do.
Because direction.
Because we don't get it right.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. 100%.
So do you ever have times where
Don't let. I'm sorry. Will you stop bullshitting? Like you.
You talk to your producer that way? Okay,
we're not even gonna get into that because we have cameras in our house and we can go through our no. Would you like being told what to do?
I always ask, babe, what do you want me to do today? What's our schedule like?
I think that's
Do you want me to work on?
I think I've heard that.
Do you want me to work on the pool? Do you want me to work on the yard? I always,
William Pay said that he enjoys. I asked Brad, how does he like work?
Can you keep that door
It's
open?
fine.
It's kind of hot in here.
It is really hot in here. I said, how does his wife is the broker? And I said, how do you like how is that working with your wife?
Yeah.
And William's like, I like being told what to do.
So I don't get it wrong.
Did you see?
So I don't
See? You have been his best friend for how many years?
he's adjusted to being told what to do.
Hell yeah.
So, Brad,
There it is.
you said you had a advertising/marketing degree.
Yeah.
And I looked at your Facebook before we got here,
Yeah.
and I love your videos.
Oh, thank
You
you.
do a really great job.
I did. I watched a lot of videos. So.
Is that kind of how you incorporate? Is that your passion, doing videos?
Yeah. Creating, that's why, obviously meeting Robert, and when he started doing this, and he was kind of like, okay, I see what he's doing. I've been doing it for a long time, but a majority of my business comes from Facebook.
Really?
Everything that I do. So a lot of people give me, we can say it, a lot of people give me shit because I go out and do like food videos, or I go out and do, or I do the podcast on Monday with Fred. We're talking about sports, and I don't bring up real estate at all, right? And I kind of, with the philosophy that, again, it goes back to people know you, like you, trust you, they're going to work with you. And I truly find talking about real estate a little boring. That's why when Robert invited me and I said, we're going to talk about everything about real estate, I was like, what time do you want me to be there, bro?
That was our whole thought process on it, that it could get kind of boring, like just talk.
Don't get me wrong, I love what I do, but the reason I love what I do is because I can do so many other things. Like, a lot of people don't know this about me. I know one of the questions, like, people don't know this. I don't eat sugar and I don't eat carbs.
Like all?
It's been a year and a half.
That's right.
But if you're watching my videos, I actually had a donut hamburger at one point at a place in one of my videos. Yeah, I found this place in Oxford. It's called I can't. Yeah, that's what's it called. It's in Oxford. Mm-hmm. It's a donut place. I can't think of the name of it.
So they cut the donut in half.
Cut the donut in half.
I've seen that before.
And it's hamburger. And so I'm like, wow. First of all, I like to. Hamburger.
Yeah, a donut with the meat.
The donut is a hamburger, but with a glazed donut as a bite.
A1C is like through the.
Oh yeah.
That sounds absolutely disgusting.
It's not. It's worth one bite. And it is definitely
one bite.
And so, speaking of my wife, I can never get her in my videos. Like,
really?
No, she doesn't really.
She doesn't like. Why is it?
No, it's just not her thing.
Okay.
I got her to do that one. So we go to the place, and it was a Asian-owned place. Just two people, husband and wife. Their kids were walking around, and I said, and I usually come into these places. I said, do you mind if I do a video? And 90% of people will be like, yeah, absolutely, come in. You just, but she's like, we have enough customers. And something which she said, wow. I was like, interesting. Well, that's at first.
Yeah.
But I was fascinated with the donut hamburger. So we just filmed the video in my truck, and she's in the car, and we're eating the video or eating the hamburger.
So you did take out words.
Yeah,
range it here.
And it was
good.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would not go eat a donut hamburger all the time. You would die. But you die.
I'm all for the pretzel buns are like my thing. I love anything.
I hate pretzel buns.
You do? Why?
I
love anything.
I just like the normal.
Like I could probably eat pretzels nonstop.
It's like, I think what it is, it's like too much bread, and then it's like hard at some.
It is kind of hard. I know
it is hard. I don't
like the whole consistency.
But that's the thing, is I like to find unique places.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's very unique.
The one most recently that I did is a guy that I had known for years. He owns a company a restaurant called Seasburger. His name's Todd Seasburger, and his place is called Seasburger's Cheeseburgers. And he got a really bad review, so he posted on social media. I'm like, dude, I've ate that food tons of times.
Right.
My boy didn't do that. I went to his restaurant, and we blew up this video. Like, they had almost, like, on Facebook,
what was the
9,000 views.
Like,
she said the food was crappy or something like that. And ironically, the lady's name was Karen.
Oh, figure.
So my marketing brain starts working and be like, "Oh, I can do something." So we went there. We did the video. I probably got the TikTok victim was a ton. I don't remember what it was a ton of views. So I reached out to Todd like a week later, and I said, just out of curiosity, man, like, how is it? He's like, "Dude, I've been slammed for 2 weeks." And I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah.
I got to put his name out there, correct the wrong. Maybe he had a bad day. Maybe the food was. I mean, are we all on our A game every single day? No.
Yeah.
We have bad days, and maybe Jill had a bad day.
Where is it at? What is
So this place is in New Baltimore. It's at 23. It's basically like downtown New Baltimore area.
Okay.
But he used to have a place in Roseville. He had one in downtown Mount Clemens. And when I ran the mortgage negotiation company, we had to park in the like a community parking walk. I had to walk by his place every morning so that he would make me a breakfast sandwich. Then I'd come there at lunch. This is when
So you knew he was like a good guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So how
Then
your marketing like took over,
Yeah.
background? It's funny because I feel like there's a lot of real estate agents who have background degrees in marketing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing.
Well, it is because we all have to market ourselves. I
Yeah.
mean, Robert preaches about it all the time. He's like, we have to market ourselves. And for years, like everybody knew that I sold real estate, but they didn't know the company that I worked for because it doesn't matter. I get frustrated with some of these real estate agents who are like, well, I need to work for at Christie's or I got to work for this place or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and something like that, like, I ain't paying you $20,000 to work here. I'm selling myself.
Yeah.
I promote the brokerage now because obviously I have a little bit of a vested interest in it. Right? A little bit. But in the past, like my clients, they wouldn't know where I worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they came across my business card or so like, oh yeah, it's a black and gold color, but
Or your
No.
sale sign or whatever.
yeah, just marketing yourself. But I always try to find things that I enjoy doing and then find, and create something out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. I just started a cigar networking group.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So what I did, I literally just started smoking cigars because I told them I do golf all the time. I'm out in the golf course all the time. Everyone's smoking cigars. I really need to start smoking cigars. Like, I think this is cool.
I love cigars.
So I tried it, and then it got cold, and we go into some of these cigar bars, and I'm like, man, there's some fascinating people in these places, and some of these places are super cool, and this food is out of this world. Like, some of these places are top notch. Like, what can we do? So right before Christmas, a good friend of mine, Andrew Smith State Farm, give him a little shout out. We started a cigar networking group. So every month we go to different cigar bars to try these places out. On average, we probably have 25, 30 people at every event.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so
a good number.
yeah, so it's been really cool. So our next event,
I didn't
A lot of
even
people are into cigars and stuff.
I actually love like cigars. I do love cigars, but I didn't even know you could. Normally, cigar bars, do they have food? I didn't even know that.
let me tell you.
Yeah, I went to one.
I always thought they were like the chill spots that you just go and.
I think you might be thinking of hookah. Hookah most of the time doesn't have food, but cigar bars,
Cigar bars have
they
food.
lay back. It's chill. It's a real. So when we ran across Cato and that was a cigar bar by Parlay.
There's a place, and you'll love this. They have the best smash burger, and it's Don Cristo's Cigar Bar. That was where our first event was. Now Donnie, who I just did hit a video at his tacos and tequila place at 23 and Bell Meal Plate.
Okay.
Phenomenal taco Mexican place. It's kind of like an upscale Mexican place.
Is that the same tacos and tequila, or is it different?
No, it's different.
I think it just has the one, but he owns.
Is it tacos? Is that the one?
It was
Closed now. Oh, they closed?
That side of town is completely different.
Okay.
So he owns a bunch of restaurants. He owns Zeph's on the Water in St. Clair Shores. He owns Don Cristo's Cigar Bar, Tacos and Tequila.
I need a tour in that area. Like,
No joke. Like
In St. Clair Shores.
Just call Shotgun. I'll do that. Because I'm telling
to
you.
like head out there and pockets of
St. Clair Shores is fun.
I like
You ever been to Brownies?
Yes. I don't think
Water?
brownies anymore.
Is that Brownies anymore?
all those restaurants changed.
Mine Godfather bought that.
What?
Godfather bought that. Where you said the white party in?
Brownies?
Yeah, that was where they had the white party on the
Over by the
no,
boat
that was
dock.
Beach Grill. Beach Grill. That's
By the
yeah.
boat
Now
dock.
it's something else too.
Yeah,
But I was when I was there. It used to be Jack's on the water.
I remember Jack's. I remember Jack's. Yeah.
I just don't like those bugs in
The fish fly.
around that time when those
Listen,
come
girl,
out.
but they're down.
Different.
They're down in the grow.
Not in the summer. They're not there in the summer.
It's that time of the year
Yeah,
when
they
you
are.
can't even go to the gas station.
Listen, when he
certain
played
season.
listen, when he played semi-pro, and we used to go down the row. They like you could look up in like the
Yeah, there's a
fish flies were, like,
season for fish flies.
that was summer though.
Yeah, it's only like a month though, right? Is it like
Yeah, it is a short.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, sure. It's just
I remember like walking to my car and it was like crunch, crunch.
Yeah, it's
crunch, crunch.
yeah.
that in itself would be a reason I wouldn't be able to live there.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
But I could go there.
But listen, St. Clair Shores, like docking, like going to the boats out there, like are absolutely amazing. Like I always told him, we finally got our camper, so the next step is a boat. I would love to dock out in St. Clair Shores.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
I would come.
Yeah.
When my kids were
guys
younger,
get
I used to
that
camp a lot.
Yeah.
We are campers. We actually went from a tent. We have our kids camped in tents. Like literally, we have 3 tents.
I did that for like 30 seconds.
I look like
32 footer with 2 slide outs and 2 TVs.
So we used to rent them,
Yeah.
and then that became too much money. So then I was like,
like let's just buy one.
Yeah.
But we don't tent. We glam. Like
Yeah, for sure.
like our tents are like we have 2 kids in a 10-person tent with I have ceiling
Ceiling fans.
fans for the kids.
You better have a blow up mattress. It's gonna make her.
You know how many blow-up mattresses I have in my basement, and I have like ceiling fans for them. They have blow-up couches, like that they sit.
That's fun.
They're not
inside is tent.
Yes, they set up their whole like
yeah, it's
living room
pretty
area.
nice.
It's
I'm coming camping next time.
we do it.
What's your favorite place to camp?
Sandy
So,
Pines.
so, yeah, we go to
Where?
Sandy Pines
Sandy
in
Pines.
Hopkins. It's in Hopkins, Michigan.
Yeah.
It's closer to the west side of the state,
Okay.
so it's what 3 hours?
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So we love Sandy Pines. We always get lots there, and it's a big park. Golf cart we rent.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't leave the park.
We don't leave
Yeah,
the park.
Ice
There's-
cream store, restaurant,
I don't know why.
like everything.
Yeah,
I kept my camper at a place for a while. Like I just.
we thought about that. I don't want to be stationary. Like we just
Well, I was single with 2 kids at the time.
okay.
So, and my kids were, my daughter was playing soccer, my son was little. So,
Yeah.
like, I would go up there on, like, after soccer on Friday. I'd come home, coach a soccer game, then go back to the camper.
Yeah.
And then I'd leave Monday morning, drop the kids off, and go to work. It was just easier,
It was easier.
with my situation. And I always said I'd like to see new places. But at the end of the day, I just like to enjoy the time.
We deal with that too, because like our older son played travel baseball and is now at Henry Ford playing. So baseball was always, so we were like traveling a lot with baseball. And we thought about that because it's so hard to go places and set up. The amount of time it takes you to set up
For sure.
is like a full. But Sandy Pines is the easy one. But I get the convenience of going. It's already there. There's a lot of state parks.
So you have a travel trailer?
We
bought
have our
RV.
first one this year.
Just an actual
RV.
RV that you drive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have a drive. We
Okay.
bought a drive.
Okay, excuse me.
But for 2 persons, Lions tailgate.
We actually bought it from Lions.
So
for Lions games.
When is the trip? The RV
That's the
that we're
thing.
on.
The Lions schedule this year sucks. The
Home schedule.
the home
Not,
schedule.
not the,
What sucks about the home schedule?
I want to
The games that
The
they
games.
play, who they play.
games. I want to see Baltimore, Washington, Philly,
Okay.
Kansas City. I want to see all that on the.
So we said that we just bought this mobile. What do they call it? I call it an RV.
It's RV.
But people say like it's a mobile, like
Motorhome,
motorhome.
but it's not. It's not the huge coach.
RV.
It's only a 30-footer.
So it's a Class A. Or no, it's a Class C.
Class-
No, that's a-
that goes over the driving part, right?
No.
Straight driving.
Yeah. So
Oh,
wouldn't that be a class?
A.
That's a class A.
No,
Do you guys have a picture?
the bed doesn't go
Yeah.
to the motor.
I'm not even gonna pretend like I know anything about me.
We have to
It's like let me camp with you.
Yes, fine.
So have you ever been to a lion to see the lions on the road?
No.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Yeah, we
did. We went to
We went to
Indianapolis.
We went to Indy.
Okay. Indy this past year.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
we just went to Indy in November for my birthday, but we've never tailgated.
Okay.
So we have our RV that we want to drive to the away games and tailgate and
Correct.
sleep and do all the things.
That's pretty cool.
But no, there's no overhead. It's a straight,
So
so
it's a
that's
Class A.
a Class A.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a 30-footer, 2 slide outs. So we're gonna start traveling with that. But we went straight from tent camping, 3 tents, to now we're driving
Yeah.
this thing across.
Moving on up.
I know.
Yeah. Moving on up. I've been to Arizona, Chicago, New Orleans,
Like camping?
Tampa,
No,
still Lions.
Oh, lions on the road?
Yes. And I stopped, and I haven't been in a couple of years. I will say that I'm undefeated on the road.
Okay.
Oh,
Even in
so,
the bad years.
so listen, you lose at home, but you're undefeated.
I'm a winner on the road.
You're a winner. So we
So
went
you
to
may have to
Indy.
go with us on the road.
So the four of us went to Indy, and I will say, like, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but it was awkward. Like, I felt like it was awkward being there, listening to the hecklers.
Awkward. You went when we were good.
I know, we
Imagine
did.
going without
Yes, we did.
They're like, bro, where'd you get that T-shirt at?
But you won it, but we
We
won
won.
every time.
New Orleans was my favorite. The New Orleans
New
fans
Orleans
were
one?
awesome. Like awesome. That was a cool stadium. The atmosphere in New Orleans was my favorite. The coolest stadium I've been to is the Arizona one because that has the retractable roof and they play on grass,
Should
Okay.
do that. I
which
don't
is
understand
which is
why
really
they
cool.
freaking do that.
Tampa reminded me of, although Tampa is a cool stadium,
Yeah.
the tailgating atmosphere reminded me of the Silverdome
Oh, really?
because
Was it
everything
a parking lot or just a big parking
it's
lot?
on a big open field. It's not like here where you're like, oh, if your boy's at Eastern Market and you're on grass,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you're
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By the time I get there, it's halftime.
So, what's the other stadium that we went to that was a big open parking lot? It was a Michigan game. In Florida.
Yikes. The something bowl.
Um,
It said Tampa.
Oh,
We went Michigan
so
played
it's
Florida.
Tampa.
So then you were in the
talking about
Buccaneers?
with the
That's the Buccaneers.
stadium.
yeah.
But it was like a
Big open
big
field.
parking lot.
And you both were there?
No,
No,
we
we
went
went-
for a Michigan game.
college
We went for a bowl, a Michigan bowl
okay.
game at Christmas time. But it's like I was blown away because it reminded me of Silverdome.
Yeah.
It was like a big open field.
That was pretty fun.
So
Yeah, that's right in the middle of the hood.
it is.
Yeah, it was
really
there.
great.
A couple of car dealerships.
Barbecue spots as you're walking by. You got some good food going down. So no, our like goal is we want to get to more away games. Our home schedule is not the best, but we have Kansas City, we have Pittsburgh.
No, Pittsburgh.
I've been to Pittsburgh, but
I
not
thought
a
Pittsburgh was away too.
not a Lions game. I went to a Monday night game at Pittsburgh. That's a cool stadium. That's
Really?
really cool. That's a cool town too. That's a really cool
been
town.
there.
Super clean.
Okay, so we're gonna do a vlog on the road.
On the road,
And
I know. Like I talk so much Lions. Literally, we've had Facebook Lives that everyone's watching, and as soon as I talk like this, they're like, "Oh, we have like."
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Have you done something
Everybody just starts
with podcasts?
No. It's always been me and my outfit.
Definitely gonna do on the road.
Yeah,
Like, we
that
have
would
to,
be.
we have to
that
do
would
on the road because I can't wait for the season. So it'd be a great one.
What's your recording schedule like as far as the reviews? Do you just kind of record whenever you feel like it, or
So my podcast that I record is every Monday morning.
right?
Okay, so every Monday morning at 9:30, I record it and it's up and with
And that's just you?
just me. And now I have my friend. I do
Oh,
everything
okay.
myself. I do all the recording, everything. Like I won't have people with cool stuff. I do have people, but and then for the review videos, my son, who is at Rocket, if you see my videos from when I first started doing them to now,
Mhm.
it is like night and day. So, like I said, my son's 22. He just got the job at Rocket. But he came and worked for us. He got his real estate license, and it wasn't really his thing. So then he got really big in doing photos. So then I got him a job at Window Still, and he was taking our lifting photos. Then I had him recording, but he is just phenomenal. Like he is really good at recording and editing and everything. So he makes my videos.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
And
Do you like
so
doing that?
now my schedule to do those is tough
yeah.
because he works so much. So
Yeah.
like we try to do it on the weekends, or his best friend Christian Brown, shout out to my boy CB, he's one of our ages too. He recorded one that we just recently did, but I miss having my son do it because he just knows.
Yeah.
Like you guys film a lot of stuff, and if you work together with somebody, you know what I like. he knows what I like. He knows he can tell me don't do it, or he'll say that that's cringe. Good. You're talking too. He always says you're talking too much.
Just eat the burger, like
Right.
That's so family life. Like, let's talk about your family real quick because I know we're almost running out of time, and I'd love to hear some more backstory about it. So, do you have siblings?
Yeah. I have, now, how much time do you say we got? So it's crazy.
Is it a blended family?
So actually, I was adopted.
Really?
Yeah,
We
I
moved
was adopted. Yeah, I was adopted, and for my entire life, like I never really.
Did you know from the beginning?
I was always told. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I met my wife, and she has a way of getting me to do it. This is one of many reasons why I love my wife so much. Is she gets me out of my comfort zone, and she makes me a better person because I can get real comfortable real quick. And she kind of tricked me, and I took I took the ancestry test, and then this story is so crazy long, but I really met my dad for the first time at 40 years old. I'm 45, right?
Oh, that's special.
So, and how I got to it is a long story, but we ended up meeting through Facebook, and I met him. And so we're talking on the phone, and I said to my wife, I don't even know what I'm going to say to this guy. Like, this is crazy. And she's like, I've never heard you say, I don't know what I would say. Right.
Especially when your son's a doctor.
Right, exactly. So I saw him on Facebook, and I see that he's a Michigan fan, right? And so we're talking on the phone. I get on the phone, and he tells me the story, right? Like him and my mom were high school sweethearts. My mom was white. My dad was Puerto Rican and Mexican, and her mom didn't really like the idea. So come to find out, my whole life was dictated by racism at the end of the day, right? So they went their separate ways, found out my mom's pregnant.
Yeah.
He heard through the grapevine, because this is 1970.
So he didn't know?
He found out from a friend. And so he said, what are we doing with Maiden? She said, my family had already made a decision. We're going to give him up for adoption. He's like, no, I want. So he went to court to fight for me. And at the time, they told him and his father that it wasn't ideal for me to grow up in a two-father household. Well,
yeah,
talking 1980 now, right?
Yeah.
So I was put up for adoption, and my adopted mom had always said something happened because there was this long duration as to when I was born and when I was adopted. So I get on the phone with her.
Like,
we end up
long duration as in how long?
Like, I was born in July, and I didn't get it adopted until January, which normally it's a short time.
Well, usually it's like hospital.
Right.
Oh, because of the court situation.
Yes.
Oh, so we're talking like 6-7 months.
Right. So I met so we ended up, I said, he lived in, now I'm right for where he lives. It's right by Kalamazoo. It's, I can't think of the name now. Portage. Lives in Portage.
Oh, yeah. Small little town.
Yeah.
Very small town. So I said, well, what's halfway? So let's meet in East Lansing. And he's like, no, East Lansing. And I was like, my wife's like, yeah. I'm like, I want Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor's good. So I go, I meet up. He walks into this restaurant, and immediately I was like,
You know who he
that's
was.
my dad.
Yeah.
Like,
You guys look alike?
my adopted parents are 5'3", 5'4". My sister has blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, they had to tell me real quick that I was adopted.
So is
This 6-foot Mexican is crazy.
is your
No, she was adopted.
She was adopted as well, okay.
So I met him there, and he had me take a DNA test right there on campus. Right?
What?
Yeah, because we didn't know for sure, right? I kind of knew because of the ancestor. My dad didn't know. My dad, so we took it, and he introduces me. He called me, he like, hey, you are my son, like a whole more.
You are the father.
So he asked me, he says, do you think you can come meet me and my family? And I was like, yeah, I would love to. So that was a Monday. So Wednesday, my wife and I drive out to Portage. He comes out of the house, and he says, and he's a big dude, and he's just nervous. You could tell he's nervous. And he's like, nobody in the house knows what's going on here. He's like, you're coming. So I walk into this house. It's like a 1,200 square foot house in Portage, and this place is full of Mexicans. They're all
How much
standing. just the most amazing. You know how excited I am at holidays? It's crazy.
Yes.
There's spices and it's gonna be So, he, and this is where it gets a little crazy. So he points over to his mom and he says, "Go tell my mom who your mom is." And I said, "Well, I just recently found out that my mom's name was Pam Carpenter." She gets up off the couch and she looks at me and she's like, she starts speaking in Spanish and she puts her hand on my forehead and she said, "I can now die a happy woman that we found you."
What was this again?
It's my grandma.
Your grandma.
Do you know Ace? Oh, you were raised by white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raised by white people don't know Spanish. So
Come to find out, this woman had a picture of me in her house. I've seen the picture my entire life.
As a child?
As a baby, because they saw me before I was given up for adoption. There's a picture of my dad holding it.
So all the like what? Why did?
That was before, like, that was, and then the court stuff started happening.
So
were you like in foster care?
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
then? Okay.
So what happened at the point that? So they said it wouldn't be good ideal or whatever.
Yeah, so he kind of just
adopted.
went his own way.
So he just
He gave his information that basically said that if I ever wanted to pursue him, then I can have that option.
So was it closed adoption?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
I do. Like
I would have to ask my wife.
yeah. So closed adoption.
Like, you know, but
Your family,
whatever.
there's open where the family that gave up would still be in contact in the years, but closed adoption means that all those records are sealed and there's nothing.
So no, it was open.
Okay.
Okay. So ironically, 2 years before I met him, he went and changed the address as to where I could find him because his mom had moved from Saginaw, because that's where they were from, to Portage. Okay. So it just was ironic that it all happened that way. And then we met. And so to answer your question, I have three siblings, half siblings, a sister and two brothers. And I have my adopted sister, who I grew up with, right? And then, unfortunately, like, I got real close with my siblings, and my dad, through COVID, everything. I mean, I'm telling you, me and my dad were thick as thieves. We text every single day. He was a big Tom Brady fan, like, loved the white dress.
Oh my God! I was just looking at these two.
Then
He's not a Tom Brady fan. He is. So they go.
Well,
back
then all of a sudden, then he's like a Tampa fan. Like, oh, okay, so I thought you were a New England fan. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, just because he went to Michigan. Obviously, being a big Lions, he didn't give me shit, right? Like, oh, they ain't never gonna be no good. Like, you're barking up the wrong tree. Thick as thieves.
Yeah.
It was just the most unbelievable feeling for somebody who didn't look like anybody, didn't really seem like they fit in, but acted like they fit in, to meet somebody like that, right? And then, unfortunately, my brother, who I'm very close with, he called me on a Saturday morning. He's like, "Hey, Dad,
Oh, my.
a heart attack."
We did.
I got to meet him
We always do that.
2 years. I got to hang out with him for 2 years.
Well, at least you got that time. Yeah.
I took him to his first Lions game. One of my absolute favorite experiences ever.
Yeah.
Home game, yeah. That's
So
okay.
thank
I
God
haven't seen him
for
older.
for your wife.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for
$5 for every time somebody said that to you.
Right.
So wait,
Remember that.
did you ever get to meet
Well,
your mom?
No, she had passed away of cancer. Apparently, she was like in the Michigan High School Hall of Fame for softball players.
Really?
I see pictures of her. I really wish I would have had the opportunity to meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still really close with my stepmom. And then I went out to California and hung out with my brother who lives in LA. He came and visited me here, and I'm very close with my younger brother Ruben. I see him all the time, but just a crazy story.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't think that was coming.
No, I didn't.
I'm like, your brother and sister.
And just out of curiosity, how does your sister feel about your relationship with them? Like, is there? She met her. I'm saying, has she met them?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And there's no like feeling of
No,
that.
she's very cool.
I just think that that's so crazy that the courts were able to make a decision for a biological father.
Crazy, right? I came aside. He showed me the paperwork.
Yeah,
It's
It was
crazy.
insane. But you know, the thing about it is, and like, if there's anything I can, like, maybe this story may resonate with somebody or something like that. Don't get in your own way. Don't get in your own way. I had this thought process that, like, they didn't want me, drugs, alcohol, something like that. Like, come to find out, the whole time they wanted to meet me, right? And like, I killed time for being stubborn. So it was tough, but it was glad that I got to.
No, that's actually awesome. Even the fact, like, I'm so sorry that you only have 2 years with him, and that is hard. But to experience that and have such an extended family that has accepted you and loved you, like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I can't say no. They are like, you know, I have an Aunt Lupe who's like this tall, was a huge Michigan State fan, and like, and my brother and my dad was a Michigan fan, you know. But they have been just absolutely, unbelievably great to me, right? Like I'm the oldest.
So what,
you know what I mean?
about your mom's family? Like, do you have contact with them?
No, nothing really. To be honest with you, like the vibe I got, I talked to an uncle once, and that's how I got in there. If he, look, I'll tell you how it was, but he's a white dude, and he's just saying like, "Wow, I don't know, you might be able to find him." Like, there's not that many Mexicans in Saginaw. I'm related to 200 of them in Saginaw. There's plenty of Mexicans in Saginaw, so I kind of got this vibe that I was like, okay, like maybe I won't pursue this, and I think I have enough now that I'm content. But yeah, it's just a crazy story.
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy.
So I know that we're wrapping up, and we usually have some questions that we ask, but you kind of like answered some of them already. But
yeah,
I have a question specifically for you.
Yeah.
So what would you tell someone that grows up adopted? Like, what would be your advice?
That's a great question.
To someone
that's
maybe
really
grew
good
up in
advice. And I think it kind of goes back to don't be so stubborn and closed-minded like I was. Be open. Be honest with your adopted parents, and tell them how you feel.
How were you close-minded? I'm curious.
Because I thought that it was a negative thing. Like, they didn't want me. I didn't open my mind up to think that there could have been something, right? Yeah. And it just was a negative thing. Like, they gave me up for a reason. They're probably a bunch of losers. Like, it's just bad things. Like, that was just the way I was. But I look, not everyone's story is going to end like mine. But I do think you need to understand where you came from. And I didn't realize that until, to be honest, I didn't grow up till I was in my mid-30s. And I'm still struggling to try to be an adult. Right?
Why do you think that, though?
Why do I think that I'm an adult?
Like, that you feel like that you didn't grow up until, like,
you just was young, dumb, made bad decisions.
But I feel like that like, I'm 43 and my forever age is 36, but at 43, I still think.
But I feel that way too, but I know why.
You change, like, with every cycle that you go through. Like, I'm not the same person I was.
But I think that way, though. Like, I feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I know why. So I was wondering, like...
Oh, so you're like, I understand what you're saying.
You know why does it feel like you didn't grow up? You know, you didn't grow up to, like, your 30s or whatever, and even, like, now.
I think it's just bad decisions that I made when I was younger, and, like, being immature with the way I was thinking. You know, I really... And to be honest with you, my life really didn't start to make that progression on realizing where I was at until I met my wife. Somebody who truly got me.
Or maybe it was like not really knowing who you were.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you know, you've always had that thought.
Where you came from.
Yeah.
You don't know these things, right? And usually,
I can understand that.
Any more last questions?
So if you were to look back and tell your younger self something, what would it be?
I was look back to your younger self. As a realtor, as a
person, and anything in general.
Yeah.
Like,
be more open-minded and live life to its fullest. Get out of your bubble and get out of your own way. Get out of your own way and experience things. And meet new people, and just meet as many people and learn about other people as you possibly can.
Do you feel like you didn't do that until later in life?
Not until later. I mean, I was a people person my whole life.
Yeah.
But I didn't experience different things. I was in a bubble. Like, until I went to college and didn't start listening to any other music but rap music. Like, I listened to rap music my whole life. And now I listen to any kind of music. And not that I say I love it, but it's like I learned how you grew up. And it fascinates me now. Because now I get to know why this person is the way they are, because this is where they came from. And this is the environment they grew up in. And you can understand people a lot better when you know where they came.
So get out of your comfort zone.
Get out of your
Why you can't be when you say that?
All right, so we're wrapping up here. So we appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Appreciate the invite.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sharing your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning back into the Real Estate and Real Estate podcast. So see you next week.
Crystal, head next week. See you next week. Peace.
Oh,